A couple things to keep in mind here before we get going. Though the tone of this video may come across as negative, that isn't my intent. There's just no way to paint a particularly rosy picture on this. The other thing is, please watch this video with your engagement in mind. That's because I'm calling you out. Anyone who watches this video, to engage in this discussion, to move it forward. This challenge is bigger than any one of us. So let's band together and figure this out. Here we go. You'll notice that in the title of this video, I've indicated that this is to be a multi-part series. That wasn't by accident. And again, this will only work if we all engage, so please do. A few months ago, I made a video, which I'll link right up here, about how to make money as a real estate photographer in a declining market. At the time when I shot that, this market condition of decline was more speculation than fact. That speculation has now come to fruition, and it has happened shockingly quickly for most of us. As I'm sure many of you know, I was a full-time real estate agent for several years before I got into photography. One thing led to the other. And so in my region here, which is the San Francisco Bay Area, I've been in and around this business for a long time. However, in the 4 or 5 years that I've been photographing real estate professionally, it's always been a strong market. In fact, real estate media in its current form, that is compositing still images, video walkthroughs, 3D tours, etc., that's really only been around for a handful of years. The last time the US as a whole saw a net negative real estate trend was more than 10 years ago. And the majority of these imaging techniques that we now use didn't even exist, let alone were they being used to market properties for sale. So in addition to living the live-action version of this narrative and watching the talking heads, in preparation for making this video, I've been engaging with many clients about what certainly is shaking up to be, I'm not going to say a market crash because I'm not really convinced of that, but for our purposes, a major market correction that will change the landscape of what we do and how we do it. One colorful analogy that just came today from a good client of mine is, she said, "We're not on the bunny slope here, we're on the black diamond run." Dramatic, but point taken. After having that conversation, I decided to reach out to a few fellow real estate photographers from different regions than my own. And yeah, it's the same everywhere. And it has happened extraordinarily quickly everywhere as well. Okay, so I can't speak for everywhere, but, you know, it's important, I think, that we first identify the problem. And the problem in my region is actually pretty easy to identify. And that is, it's no secret that in my region, in Northern California, it's very expensive. We haven't really had a first-time buyer presence in this market for quite a while. Usually the transactions that we see going on are between people who are moving equity from other homes into a new home. The problem right now is that those move-up buyers are staying put because, and I'll use myself as an example of this. I own this home, and a few years ago, when the rates were really cheap, my wife and I refinanced our mortgage into a 15-year fixed mortgage at, it's like 2.25%. You know, and I'm not saying that as a flex, even though I'm damn proud of it. I'm saying it because I'm a good example of somebody who I would not move right now, right? I'm not gonna try to get myself out of a situation where I have got a pile of equity and a great rate on a mortgage that I'm gonna be able to pay off by the time my kids, you know, get into college and such. And I have no problem saying any of this because I think I'm a pretty typical case. You know, that's a lot of us who own homes. We all did that. A lot of us did anyway. A few years ago, refinanced into this really cheap money. And so what's going on right now is we're all staying put. You know, we're not listing our homes for sale. So there isn't a whole lot of inventory. And the inventory that is coming on market was already barely affordable to people at 2 or 3% money. Now we have 7 or 8% money out there, and they just can't afford it. In my previous video on this subject, which, as I said, was mostly speculative as it was recorded just as interest rates were starting to rise, I identified this time for us as one of opportunity. Now, that doesn't mean it isn't also problematic. I don't know about you, but real estate media is how I feed my family, so it most certainly is that. But there will also be opportunity. And what that opportunity is, that's what we, all of we, need to talk about. What can we do to make the income as the listings slow down? For me, commercial video is part of that. And it should also be for you. So what else? I've actually also gotten involved in a project with a local architectural firm to market individual neighborhoods to developers. Photo, video of amenities, culture, etc., to entice developers to build here. And my clients, the architectural firm, would in this scenario be designing the projects at the local level. That's different from shooting residential real estate listings, but the skill set is totally in my wheelhouse and it pays. So I'm still working. Part 2 of this video might be a live stream, might not, but your engagement will dictate how soon that will come and what we're going to discuss. Also, the PMRE conference in Vegas is just a couple weeks away. We'll be there, and that'll be a great opportunity to hash this out as well. I'm sure there's going to be some conversations. I'm kind of working on something for that, which I can't really share the details of quite yet, but please leave a comment below. Respond to other people's comments below. Let's get a dialogue going, and let's just do it now because, like my client so eloquently said just today, we're on a black diamond run. Peace.